I forget we're on a podcast and I can't like just use my body. Like,
no, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have cameras, man. You gotta document.
What's up, Ordinary Freaks? Welcome back to another episode 5. Sorry about last week. We didn't have an episode, but I'm sure you guys noticed the announcements we had. We were working hard on getting the audio versions. At the end of the day, we are a podcast. We were getting heat. Well, not heat, but a lot of people were asking about, where's the audio version?
Yeah.
So we were on iTunes. We were on Google Play. We were on Anchor. We were on Stitcher. You guys can find us. If you guys don't want to see our beautiful faces anymore, you guys can't make an excuse for it. You guys can listen to us in the car, when you shower, when you're working out, on your phone. So check us out. Ordinary Freak, search us up. And if you like watching our beautiful faces, you guys know we're on YouTube. So here we go, episode 5. You got B here.
Your co-host, Eddie.
Q.
And our boy Q. So Q.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to our Ordinary Freaks here.
First of all, thank you for having me. This is epic. This setup is legit. But I am the founder of Genie. So essentially, we are a personal branding consultancy. So I teach people how to tell their stories to make more money. And then I tell my story for a living. That is what I do. That is my passion. I love telling stories. I love people. And then I also have a show on LinkedIn. So I am essentially just talking to people, telling their stories, and then talking about community, talking about personal branding. And that has about 3 million views total right now. And then I speak and I do some influencer stuff through LinkedIn, and that is taking up all my time, man.
Gotcha. All right, so to get right to it, why LinkedIn, man? Why, like you said, you have over 3 million views in LinkedIn. Why not go to Facebook? Why not go to Instagram, YouTube, all these other platforms? So what got you engaged to LinkedIn?
Yeah. I get a lot of shit for being on LinkedIn. It's like, okay, you're an influencer on LinkedIn. Like, nobody's on LinkedIn. But if you think about it, like Instagram, like there's an awesome community there, right? There's awesome people there, but there's money on LinkedIn. So when I moved to LinkedIn, I was struggling. I had like not negative $900 at that point, but I was losing money in my business. I wasn't making any money. Gotcha. And when I moved to LinkedIn, I met this guy and he had like 30,000 views on his profile. He's like, yeah, this just transformed my life. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it out. So I start writing posts and I'm like, okay, there's a couple views there. And then they release video. And I'm like, shit, like that's my thing. That's where I'm comfortable. And I'm watching these guys and I'm terrified to jump in because it's LinkedIn, they're CEOs, and I'm watching all these videos pop up and I'm like, I can do that better. And 2 weeks in, I finally got over my fear and I made a video about how I was afraid to make a video for LinkedIn and it hit 30,000 views. And then from there, it was like, shit, okay, we're growing. People are actually starting to watch me. And I tripled my monthly business revenue from that, just from LinkedIn video. Like, it completely transformed my life, and I still get shit for being on LinkedIn, but the money's there, and that's what I need. That's what you need to survive. So that's why I'm there, because money's there and my people are there. Gotcha.
And what do you have to say? I think LinkedIn, even from going through school and just in general, it's seen as a, quote unquote professional. Yep. You have to have a nice picture. You have to be wearing a button up and a tie or a suit. I guess, how do you come into play into that? And what's, is there a new wave? Is there, what's going on with that? Do you get any shit for that?
Yeah, so my entire thing is like Misfit. Like, I have a group of Misfits and I just brand myself as LinkedIn's Misfit. I wear my hat, I wear my scarf, and I just do and talk about whatever I want. And there are people that are like, Quentin, that belongs on Facebook. Why are you making that video, Quentin? But there's also people like, shit, I want to do that. That's amazing. That's ridiculous. And now we're seeing this big wave of creators jumping on this platform, and they're really showing who they are. So it's not just, okay, here's this marketing technique. Here's how you can grow this. Here's how you can fix your SEO. Here's how you can get clients. There's people opening up about how they were abused as kids. There's people talking about things they've gone through in college and all these different things, and bringing value, and they're building relationships. My life changed because of the people that I met. And it's the real, authentic relationships that you don't see on Instagram, you don't see on Facebook, you don't see anywhere else. So it's just this massive wave of humans being humans. And that's what I like. That's what I'm about.
Gotcha.
There's this lady that I'm speaking with later this year. Her name is Michaela Alexis, and she just started opening up and posting selfies and talking about things that she was going through in her life. There's a guy named Josh Fetcher who just started talking about business, and he's like a 26-year-old founder, and he just talks about all his failures and adversity and all these different things. And those two people, I think, really pioneered that text-wise, and people just started jumping on. But me personally, like, I don't believe there's work-life balance. There's just life, and business is a part of that. And I think that's when things really started to happen, when everybody started to open up about those things in their life as well. I don't think there really was a moment. I just think one person did it and they're like, wow, I'm going to do that too.
Yeah.
What got you into video in the first place? So I know you studied sociology, is that correct?
Yeah, dude, you like did your research, man.
So is there, I mean, why video? You know, why are you so comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Were you always this comfortable with it? Where did that come from?
Dude, I was just talking to my futurist friend, and he's like, Quentin, I just found this video. We were sitting in my college library, and I was just starting my first startup, so a virtual reality startup. And he's like, Quentin, let's sit down, let's interview you, and I want you to tell me about your video. And I remember saying, like, dude, I'm not comfortable on camera. I don't want to do this. Fuck this. And that was me. And that was me for the longest time. And when I started my startup, and then when I started, after that interview, I'm like, that was embarrassing, that was terrible. I'm gonna make a video every single day. So I did, and I got better gradually, and I realized that me as a writer, it's the same thing on camera. I can get my thoughts out. I trip up like this all the time, but I'm better on camera. I can show my passion. I can show my nonverbals. You can't see that in text. You can't see that elsewhere. But it was just me deciding that I wanted to be good at communicating, because I knew in my future I would have to communicate. So I chose video.
Gotcha.
Because I could reach more people and impact more people that way.
Oh, that makes sense. And was there, you know, I got the chance to look at some of your videos, and a lot of them I would say are, I guess, motivational or inspirational, you know, get you thinking and pondering. Is there any figure in your life growing up, or, you know, that kind of stemmed for you to go that route, or I guess any circumstances that came about where you're like, you know, I want to help people out, I want to motivate, I want to inspire someone?
Really my entire life, we didn't have much. Like, I watched my mom go from having nothing, dad leaving her, building her own business, living into a $500,000 home, to losing everything, being homeless, and then getting it all back. So I watched that. My brother came out as the first openly transgender Division I athlete in the world, and was kicked off his team, and like had death threats and all these different things. He's an awesome basketball player, but just all this hatred and all like ridiculous, like people are stupid. And then like me coming into college, like seeing all that, like when I launched my company, I didn't have any support. I lost all my friends. I lost everything. No one was supporting me. And I think that really set me on the path that I'm on now. That's why I want to help people. And my whole thing, like Just Q, I'm just me. Like, I'm not shit. Because literally, like, the day that I got 30,000 views on my video on LinkedIn, like, I had no money in my bank account. Before that, I remember a time where I went to the grocery store and I wanted a chocolate bar and I couldn't buy it, man. 99 cents. Like, I had to buy my dog food. Like, I didn't have shit. I didn't have support. I didn't have money. And I want to show people that even someone like me can do that, because now I have that platform and I'm motivating people, and I'm not shit, so they can do it too. And I just want to be that guy that is supporting people. Whenever someone's like, I'm starting a company, I give them money. I don't want to say, yeah, give me that for free. I want to support them because I didn't have that. And I've seen so much hatred in my life. So that is why I am like that now.
Gotcha. Okay. And was there a specific transition point where you kind of went, you know, from going through all this shit to, all right, I gotta, you know, I guess, tables turned, or I gotta, you know, motivate myself. If no one's gonna help me, I gotta help myself. Is there a specific moment you can pinpoint?
No, absolutely. And I talk about it all the time, man. I was offered, right out of college, I was offered my basically two dream jobs: wearable tech, virtual reality. I love technology, and I declined them both. I don't know why I had that courage, but I declined them both, took a dead-end job, saved money, and I was going to start my company. Launched my company, everything went wrong, girlfriend left me, car got totaled, my dog got sick, my dog got hit by a car, I lost all my funds. I was literally crying in bed every single night, and I remember the chocolate bar when I didn't have enough money, but I had negative $900 in my bank account. And Like that was the moment for me. Negative $900, and I walk outside of my room and I go talk to my roommate. I'm like, dude, like I fucking can't do this anymore. Like I'm done. If I don't have at least one client by the end of the week, then I'm done and I'm quitting entrepreneurship and I'm gonna go get my job back. And then at the end of that week, I had 3 clients. And that, it's not that I was this crazy successful guy after that, but that was a moment that I realized like I was able to do this. And that was my moment.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Yeah, that's crazy, man, going through all that and then...
But it didn't even feel like that, dude. No. It was just like, yeah, I'm in a movie. Let's just keep taking that step. Let's move forward. But it was just, like you go through it and you, looking back, you realize it sucked. But going through it, it was just...
This is life.
Just life,
going through it,
let's get over it. And like, we didn't have any food as kids, so it's like...
Yeah.
I'm good.
Man. So, out of school, I know you internship for a couple organizations in Milwaukee. Does any of your experience with, those companies or, I guess, does any of those internships stem what you're doing now? How do they affect or how do they help? How do they not help to do what you're doing now and get to the point where you are now?
The very first internship I got in Milwaukee technically was Newaukee. And if you're in Milwaukee, you probably know them. Essentially, like when I worked for them, they were doing cool stuff in the city. Like that was their thing. Let's make Milwaukee cool. And I remember going to that interview and I remember applying and my friend's like, dude, you got this. And I'm like, I had no experience at all. And I'm like, I can't do this. But I remember going and meeting Ian Abston and he walked me through all these things. And I'm like, I want to be that guy. I want to do that. And I want to do all this crazy stuff for the city. But when I got that internship, one, it was amazing. But I met the mayor, I met the NBA, I met Bucks owners, I met everyone in the city, and that opened everything. And that was my moment. Like that's when I really was like, wow, like I can talk to people. Wow, I can do that. Wow, it's accessible in Milwaukee. Yeah. But it was Newaukee that did that for me. And then after that, it was marketing and then tech. And you get me talking about tech, dude, and I'll go rant. But yeah. But Newaukee really, really did that for me.
Newaukee, okay. And what would you say? I mean, you went to that interview without experience. I think a lot of people kind of sets them back. And I know you've talked about this in one of your videos where you said like, I went into this shit not knowing anything about anything. I just went into it and started learning as I go. So I think that's a big issue we see now where people they think they lack the experience, but like for example, you went for it, you got it, and you were able to, get all that and more out of the internship. So I think that's pretty dope because I always say that, man. You never know until you try, until you go for it. The worst thing you're gonna get is a no. And you just move on to the next person, move on to the next thing.
Do you think you're the mindset of like, you've said this numerous times in multiple videos as well about being a pest and making that commitment to sticking to something that you really want and not wavering. Do you think that mentality actually did help you with that quest? And obviously through I'm assuming through now, but can you speak about not giving up in a sense of the no is just one, it's maybe a trip, it's not even a fall. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't pay attention to their fear. They don't pay attention to where that stems from, where it's coming from. Because if you think about it, when I'm afraid to do something, it's like, shit, like what's going to happen? Like I'm going to die, but it's not a life or death situation.
Right.
I don't know, like fear doesn't, I'm terrified all the time, dude. Like even for this, like every single video I do this all the time. Like I make a video every single day and I'm comfortable, but I'm terrified to post it every single time. It's just, I'm really good at not giving a shit anymore. Like just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna post this anyway, or I'm gonna do this anyway. The biggest thing is to recognize that it's not a life or death situation. And when you do that, it's like, okay, it's just a no, or it's just I'm gonna fall, or it's just this might happen, whatever, but it's not a life or death situation. So you're gonna move on, you're gonna grow.
Yeah, that's great.
But definitely like that pest mentality, dude, like that, you need that. You definitely need that because otherwise you're not going to get it.
I think you just have to be stubborn and very optimistic.
Dude, that alone will get you far.
Yeah, I remember going, through my first round of interviewings and stuff like that. Like I was never that type of person that was truly a go-getter. It was more so like, all right, I got a degree, I got to be able to pay for school, I need a job. Yep. And let me see if I can, stretch those muscles, the learnings, and then go from there, right? So I might have interviewed in 10 different places or 10, 15 different places. And it was startups. It was people that were doing tech stuff through architecture, but it was not what I wanted to do, right? I wanted, like in the architectural world, like you always want to be the designer. Like everybody wants to be that like star architect, that famous guy that did this and did that, right?
I resonate with that, man.
But at the end of the day, like when you start thinking about buildings, there's a lot of things that go into it that you might not realize that other things could be cool as well besides just designing it,
That's
right?
everything. That's everything.
So-
People are afraid to like take jobs at Subway and shit like that. And that, like, I was the same way, but now, like, as an entrepreneur and I'm hiring people, I respect the shit out of that. Like, okay, you did it and you went and made money and you did what you had to do to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
Every job will give you experience. Every job will help you in the future. Every experience will help you in the future. It's just a matter of doing what you need to do, being that pest. So I resonate with that, man. I dig that.
Yeah.
What has you sticking around Milwaukee, man? So I know you're not from here. I came here for school. So, you know what? Why Milwaukee? Why are you still around? I think a guy like you would have the opportunity to go to quote unquote, like a bigger city or better city. I mean, we love Milwaukee, so we stick around, but you know what? Why are you still here kind of thing?
Yeah, so I am actually leaving, not permanently, but I think the best thing that anyone that is young and ambitious can do is leave and go experience other things, because you're going to get that outside perspective. So I'm going to London for 3 to 6 months after I speak in LA, and then I am going to get a second place in New York City and then split that time with Milwaukee. The reason why I'm still staying in Milwaukee, one, because I found myself here, but two, because like it's a dope fucking city, man. Like there's so much quirk, there's so much spunk, there's so much personality that no one talks about. Like we totally have a narrative problem and we're not telling the right story, but like there's so many cool people here. Like you're here. I like it. So much dope shit that no one's talking about, that no one's collaborating, and I want to be a part of bringing that and showing that, because I do believe that we have a lot to offer. We're not Chicago, we're not New York City, but we're Milwaukee.
Right.
That right there is enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit beforehand. It's like, there's people doing cool shit out here. That's why one of the reasons we started this podcast is to be that platform to let people like yourself and other people we had in the past and we're having in the future to, let the world know, even let Milwaukee itself know, because some people in Milwaukee don't even know that there's, people doing these things, and there's so much opportunity. And so, like I said, just people doing cool shit that we don't give the platform, or we don't listen to, or we don't engage with. So, I mean, that's why we started this. So I'm glad you said that, because I mean, that's our mission to, get ourselves out there, get people on the show out there, and get Milwaukee on the map, get a name for it, because there's cool shit happening in the city.
There is, man, and I think it goes deeper for you guys. I think it goes deeper than the city. I think where you guys will really thrive is being from Milwaukee, not necessarily being like, okay, we're all about Milwaukee, but we're from Milwaukee and we're doing dope shit. When other people in dope cities see people from Milwaukee, like Giannis, like he's an influencer, he brings people here. Same thing. Same thing. It's the people that bring people here. If you think of New York City, it's not the Statue of Liberty. It's the people there. It's the community. Same thing. Same thing. So I think that's where you guys really thrive, is when you start pushing it out. It starts here, but ultimately it's everywhere. I forget we're on a podcast and I can't just use my body like
No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have cameras, man. You got to document.
Man, so entrepreneurship, I think that's right now I like to say it's a popping word. A lot of people like to use it and throw it around, But, for yourself, you said you had your first company, virtual reality, and that was a failure. And can you tell us kind of, I guess, where that entrepreneurship stemmed? You said Newaukee and the opportunities, but was there anything else? And then a little bit about that,
like where it came from?
Where it came from, and that experience in itself, what did you learn from starting your first company and the failure from it?
Yeah, I would say it didn't stem from experience. Of course, like I saw people doing these things, but for me, I was a musician, I was a writer, and my dream as a kid was to be paid to be me, and I didn't know that was possible. But like everything I wanted to do wasn't it didn't fit the status quo, right? Like it wasn't normal.
Right.
And I always knew that about myself, but I think it really stemmed from the fact that I wanted freedom. I wanted to travel. I wanted to build something of my own. And yeah, dude, but like my company failing, like that was very, very hard for me to let go. And we failed within months because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't ready to launch a company, and I had no idea how to manage a team. I had no idea how to go and build relationships. I had no idea how to get funding. But me just like all honesty, like complete failure. But that helped me where I am now, because now all I'm doing is building relationships. Yeah. Now I'm on camera. Now I have to do all these things. Now I have to manage a team. I have to hire and scale my company. But that failure showed me this is okay, Q. This is what kind of leader you are. This is where you suck. Stop focusing on code because you fucking suck.
Right.
And build a community, build relationships. So it showed me my strengths, and it showed me where I was weak, and it showed me this is what I need to be focused on. And it was like 6-7 months that I was trying to build that thing. It was hard to let go, but when I let go, I was like, shit, what was I doing?
Yeah.
But really, really humbling and good experience looking back.
Yeah.
For the record, how old were you when you started?
So it was like 2016. So I forget how old I am. 23, 22? 22, 23
Okay.
was when I was building it.
Yeah.
Now I'm 24.
So, I mean, I think that's key to everything, because I think a lot of us do believe that we got to be seasoned. We got to get that. Going back to the whole experience thing, right? Like yourself, you basically have been designing your lifestyle since you were a kid. You had this.
We all are, man.
Yeah, I mean, but you were, I guess, maybe ahead of the curve in the self-awareness division, because you kind of knew that you're like, I don't want to maybe do just regular stuff forever. I want to be a musician. I want to be paid to be me.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we want to get paid to do something, right? Like what do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah.
That's something that we always get asked as kids, and I mean, at least for me, that always had to be attached to a profession.
Yeah. We're fed this false notion that we need to have everything figured out, and we don't, and we probably won't, and most people never will.
And no one does.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can legitimately do anything. I know a guy that makes like 20,000-30,000 a month coaching dads. Like, okay, yeah, let's be a better dad. Like, that's what he does. He's badass at it, but he coaches dad. I know somebody that makes 70,000 coaching entrepreneurs. I know somebody else that, like, you can do it. Like, somebody invented a fork, dude. Like, you can do anything. It's just a matter of taking that initial step and then taking another and taking another. And when you keep taking those steps, you find something else. And that's where more experiences and the right people come in, but you have to keep going. And you have to be open to change, because when I first started, even just this company, I was full stack. Like, we're going to do all your marketing stuff. And then we narrowed down to social media for real estate, then social media for small businesses, and then all these different things. And now I'm on personal branding. And I know a year from now, I'm not going to be where I am. You have to be open to change, but you have to keep taking those steps and listening to the changes that are coming. Gotcha. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's very, very simple. You can do anything.
Yeah.
It's more than likely someone else has done it.
Right. Yeah.
Like 5,000 per client coaching dads. Like, I think about that whenever I'm like, damn, I need to make money.
Right.
Is he a dad himself?
Yeah, and he's badass. He's a really, really good coach. But coaching dads, like, you can do anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. You mentioned at the beginning kind of what you're up to now. So, founder of Genie, co-founder of Milwaukee Misfits. Can you tell us a little bit more about those companies? What do you do? You're the founder, but I guess you're the entirety, I don't know if I'm saying that word correctly, of your role. That's the Hispanic in me. Something comes out.
I actually grew up speaking Spanish, man. I'm not going to speak it because I suck, but I get you. But yeah, so Mad Genie, we consult entrepreneurs, C-suite executives, business coaches, and athletes on their personal brand. And again, like, helping them craft and tell their story so that they can make money, drive leads for their company. And live their ideal life. And now we're transitioning into, okay, let's go into this company and let's teach them that their employees are their greatest asset. So let's improve company culture and help their employees tell their stories so that they can drive traffic for the company as a whole. And then I would like to get in, let's consult Milwaukee, let's consult LA, let's consult these cities on how to be better, how to be vibrant, how to thrive and implement technology and to have these events. Like I want to consult cities on being better cities. So that's the progression that I'm on now. Milwaukee Misfits, I've actually put on hold. Just because I had some people step back from my Genie team and I didn't have the time. So, but we are getting back into that. And eventually, essentially what that is we're a group of influencers, entrepreneurs, athletes, crazy, dope, ordinary freaks, misfits, magicians, whatever. And we do dope shit. We tell stories, man. Like I want to get people together and I want to create. And it's not about me. It's not about them. It's about all of us. And when we get together, that's when the magic happens. And it doesn't need to be monetized. It's just let's do dope shit and let's show people that we can do dope shit coming from Milwaukee. And that's what I'm doing, man. And again, like I'm speaking and I'm doing influencer stuff, but that all falls under Genie as well.
Okay.
You're a big future guy too.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I'm weird.
You're like, and I really like that because, I mean, you're obviously a really go-getter. You know, you have that drive and motivation. But I really love how you think about the future because, I mean, you mentioned, I forgot where I heard it. This was really late when I was watching this. But you mentioned how in 10 years you want to be, or maybe it wasn't you, but it was it's a quote or like, you know, someone asked, and I think it was you though.
Was it a podcast or was it?
Oh, it was a video, but it was like 10 years. What do you want to be in 10 years? And you're like, I want to be better than, you know, in 10 years. So it's like, you're always got to do better. Like,
I forget his name, but if somebody else said it, and I'd love to steal things that I like. I'll credit you, but like, if I like your personality, if I like the way you walk, I'm taking it. I'm going to implement it. But he said like, I forget. He's like, I don't have any role models. Like this is loose quote. No role models. My role model is me in 10 years. What do I want to be in 10 years? Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to act like that. And then they come back. Who's your role model? Did you reach your goal? He's like, no, it's me in 10 years. Yeah. So he's constantly growing. He's constantly moving and chasing something that's not obtainable. That I stole it, and that's me. Like, because I dig that.
That's crazy. I mean, that blew my mind when I heard you, when you were saying that. I was like, wow, that's super powerful, because I think for a lot of people, our idols, you know, it's people that we grew up, you know, people that you can physically see, right? We can't see ourselves in 10 years, but the fact that you can actually, you know, visualize that strongly, like, I think that's like, I mean, it holds power, right? And
it does, man. And like, we've all like kind of like created like our realities, and I don't want to get into it, but like, dude, like if you're thinking about a PlayStation 24/7, like that's all you want, you're going to figure out a way to get it. Same thing for me wanting to go to Mars and all the, like, I'm going to figure out a way to get there. It's just think, take the steps, get good, go.
So I want to ask you about the future.
Oh no.
What is Q going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah.
That is a dangerous question. Let's stick to 3 because I don't want to go that deep.
Let's do it.
For 3, I'd like to not necessarily step away from my company, but I would like to, right now I'm in the process of hiring a COO. So I would like to step away in the sense that I'm just being me. But again, it goes back to, okay, let's consult cities, because there's so much coming and people don't realize it. There's IoT, there's VR, there's AR, there's MR, there's all these crazy weird things that people don't understand. Artificial, crazy things.
He told us not to get them there.
And so much coming, and people aren't gonna know how to react, man. Yeah. Like marketing today, like I'm gonna be able to pop my glasses on and like shit, like okay, there's wow, he did that. Like, damn, like, okay, there's that ad. Like, all these, like, no one's going to know what to do. It's a different world. It's the new frontier. And I want to help cities and people figure that shit out. Okay, what's the next step? Where should we go? What sensors are we going to put in? What are we going to do here? Like, that's what I'm going to do. I want to help cities tell their story. So that's my progression. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing in 3 years. I don't think it's going to be on the scale where I'm, like, helping, like, implement, like, AI into, like, governments or anything like that. But, like, I want to help cities implement tech and build vibrant communities, and those communities around people, not around the tech. Gotcha. But I don't want to go any deeper than that. Because that's
VR is a big subject. I mean,
it is.
I've dealt with it too in my professional life, and it's like one of those things that you know the capabilities, but the tech or the wearables or just the money, you know, it just costs a lot of money for people to do cool stuff. But I mean, it's coming.
It is, man. There's no fighting it. There's no stopping it. We'll get there, and I'm excited. I'm pumped, dude. I'm geeked.
That's awesome.
Q, before we get to our section of ordinary free questions, is there anything else you would like to talk about? Anything we didn't touch on that you would like to let our audience know?
An awesome job, man.
All right, so we'll get down to the questions. This is one of my favorite ones to ask. Is if you were able to have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be, and where would you take them?
Does it have to be like nonfiction? Like, can they be like fictional characters?
Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whatever you want it to be, man.
So number one is gonna be Batman, man. Like that's my thing. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like there's just something about Batman that I've always been drawn to. Like he comes from darkness, and he uses that darkness to bring good. And I think a lot of people. This is way too long for that question, but I love Batman.
No,
man. Like he uses his darkness to bring good to the world, and he's just a fucking guy in a suit that can take down anybody that he wants, just because he decides that he wants to do it. So Batman. I don't know what we would talk about, but I would probably just stare at him like, dude, like I'm gonna be you.
Where would you take him?
Oh shit. Rochambeau, because he's coming to Milwaukee.
I think he will like that spot.
I think so too. I think so. Brian's there, and he talks about superheroes all day. So
that's awesome. What's the best advice you've gotten, and who has given it to you?
That's a really tough one. I would say. I was, my senior year, I was really, really struggling as I was a track athlete, but I wanted to go work for these tech companies. That was my future in my past. And I sat down with my coach, and I expected him to say, Q, like, just figure it out and finish track and then go do that. And I sat him down and I talked my feelings out, and he was like, what do you want to do? And I said that, and he said, go do that. And it's so simple, but like he was my track coach telling me to quit track and go do what I loved. And it's just that simple. Like, just what do you want to do, and go do that. I think that was the best advice. And without that, I wouldn't be here at all.
Were you an athlete through high school?
Yeah, I was an athlete. I played basketball, but I was better at track. I was second in the state for triple jump. And then I could have been good in college, but I was like all conference or something. I think I won conference. I don't even remember, dude. It wasn't important. It wasn't.
I mean, I think you made that decision, that leap in high school. So yeah.
But it helps, like that mental aspect. That's life, dude. I'm competitive, just not. I've got to care about it, and I didn't really care about track. So.
Yeah, I hate sports. So.
He does, dude. I'm a big soccer player. Once we start talking about that, he just like.
Yeah, I just don't.
That's kind of how I am too, man. Like, I could hang, but like I start thinking about like VR and like all this, like I do. I respect sports as an athlete, and yeah.
So you're a big gamer, correct?
I was.
You were?
I sold it all so I could focus on my company.
Oh, I feel that I sold all my stuff too, so I can focus on what's important and not waste time. But I guess if you had a week or 24 hours where they said, Q, everything's going to be taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything. You have said a week to play one system, one video game for a week, and just kind of like those old days where you just to
yeah, it was the best, man.
Go all night playing with your buddies or whatever, playing by yourself. What would that system and game be?
So I would go retro N64 or Super Smash Bros. Or what is it, Neutro, like current?
Yeah,
I would go Overwatch PS4.
Okay.
But in 64 Super Smash Bros. That's my Peach, man. Peach or like
Is there a specific reason why you like that game, or just
I was good at it, man. No one ever beat me, so I don't know.
Okay.
What's the most common reason why people fail?
They stop. I like to refer to me learning how to play guitar. Like day 1 you suck, day 2 you suck, day 30 you suck, your fingers still hurt. Like year 1 you probably suck, but you can play every single song. If you keep going, you'll get there. I think failure is just you stop. Other than that, it's just you mastering the art of the pivot. So yeah, they stop, they quit.
Yeah.
deciding to do something else, of course, it's not failing, but like they stop. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you basically told my past. I stopped playing guitar because well, I just got busy. Like, I've always been into music. Like, that was me, like music and art, right? And I needed like music or art classes. So I was always like in the bands and all that stuff. And it looks like I hated art classes because as soon as I heard there was a book associated to that, and I was like, I don't want to learn art history. I want to draw.
Yeah.
So I went into the band world, and I was okay. I was an okay band player, a trumpet player, whatever, in high school. But I always liked guitar and the piano. So at UWM, I picked it up. I did it for like 8 months. I have still got my guitar. I still have a ukulele, but I don't play anymore. And every single time I try to pick it up, it just hurts so bad that I'm like, I'll focus on.
Man. But you don't want it.
Exactly.
That's fine, dude. That's why I stopped. Like I still play, but like
you realize that it's not for me. I realize
be
that it's not for me.
self-aware.
Yeah. I guess you touched on this on the advice that was given to you, but I guess if senior from high school or college were to come to you and ask you for advice, what advice would you give to them where they're stuck, they don't know what to do, they don't know whether to go to school, do XYZ? What would your advice be for that that kid or that person?
I would say one, maybe sit down and write down if time, money wasn't an issue, or whatever restrictions there is wasn't an issue, what would you be doing? But number two, I would just say go fuck up and go explore, man, because that's where you find yourself. When I came into college, I wanted to be a professional musician. A little bit into that, I wanted to be a social worker. A little bit into that, I wanted to be a marketer. Like, you don't know. And most people, when they're 40, 50, won't know. And by the time you get there, you'll probably pivot a bunch. So just go explore and figure yourself out. And number three, I would say, and this is probably actually the best advice I ever got. He said, or maybe I was reading it, but he said, identify 1 to 2, 3 passions, 2 to 3 things that you're really passionate or good about, and then find the intersection and then master that intersection. Gotcha. So with that exploration, you're going to find those 1 to 5 passions, and then you'll be able to master that. Gotcha. So write it down, figure it out, self-awareness, explore, and then master that intersection of your passions.
Okay.
That's huge.
Last question?
Yeah. Last question. We usually ask this at the end for everybody. On a scale from 1 to 10, how weird are you? How much of a freak are you? Or misfit are you? And why? Yeah, dude, I would say I break the scale, dude. I was walking down the street the other day and I had coffee in my hand and I had music in. I was just like, and I was talking to myself and I didn't realize I was doing this. And I look up and there's a guy and he's like what's going on? That's me, man. Like, that is me. And it doesn't even matter. Everybody's weird. Everybody's quirky. But fuck the scale, man.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that
awesome.
answer.
I love that. I love that.
All right, Q. So this is your time. Let the people know where they can find you, what you're up to. If there's anything coming up that, people can attend, or like I said, just in general, let them know where they can find you, look you up. Yes, I would say the best place to find me is going to be, of course, LinkedIn. That is my hub. That's my place. But you can search my name, which is Quentin Allums. Otherwise, anywhere, it's just @Q and then my last name, Allums. So @Q Allums. I will be speaking at VidCon 2018, which is I'm super, super excited about.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah, I'm pumped, dude.
That's huge.
VidCon 2018. And if you shoot me an email or message, I can shoot you a discount link if you want to go to that. And that's really it, man. I'm everywhere @Q Allums. So. Gotcha. Dope. All right. Thank you, Q. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Eddie, for
Thank you, B.
hosting again. Thank you, Ordinary Freaks. You guys know, subscribe, like. You guys can find us now, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Anchor. So check us out, watch our videos, like, subscribe. Check out Q. He's a dope guy doing dope shit. Another person in Milwaukee doing dope shit. So check us out. Thank you, guys.
Peace.